Top 3 Favorite Musical Bands of Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix is often considered one of the greatest musicians of all time. His influence transformed rock and blues music forever. Known for his wild performances and iconic sound, Hendrix was a genius who drew inspiration from various musical sources. A key aspect of his genius was his unique originality. His deeply personal, feel-driven style made it harder to trace his influences and inspirations compared to others. Jimi Hendrix admired several musicians, drawing inspiration from a diverse range of artists across different genres. From iconic blues rock powerhouses to boundary-pushing songwriters, these are the artists Hendrix admired, learned from, and even paid tribute to. But have you ever wondered who his favorite bands were? Here are 3 musical bands he considered his favorite. The Beatles. The Beatles dominated the musical landscape of the 1960s, especially in the UK. Jimi Hendrix landed in London in 1966, where he was a huge hit with blues and rock fans. Jimi died shortly after this arrival, in 1970, but during his short stint in London did he become friends with the Beatles? The innovative approaches to music and studio techniques used by the Beatles inspired Hendrix and shaped his own artistic vision. One of the biggest reasons Hendrix admired the Beatles was their willingness to experiment. Albums like Revolver and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band changed the game, blending rock, psychedelia, and even classical elements in ways that hadn't been heard before. Hendrix, always looking to push musical boundaries himself, found inspiration in the Beatles' ability to combine bold experimentation with mainstream appeal. Hendrix was a fan of the Beatles and was particularly impressed with their songwriting abilities. He later covered their song Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and incorporated it into his live performances. Hendrix not only played their music but even formed a friendship with Paul McCartney. It was clear that the Beatles' experimentation in the studio influenced Hendrix's approach to sound and production. Cream. 2 of the most legendary names in rock history, Jimi Hendrix and Cream, both pushed the boundaries of music in the late 1960s. But what many people may not know is that Jimi Hendrix had a deep admiration for Cream and did a cover of Sunshine of Your Love. Hendrix was particularly impressed by Clapton's guitar playing. In fact, Clapton was already a well-known figure in London's music scene by the time Hendrix arrived. Hendrix respected Clapton's playing, and the feeling was mutual. The 2 guitar legends even jammed together in London. One of Hendrix's most famous gestures of admiration was dedicating the song Sunshine of Your Love to Cream during a live performance. Hendrix dedicated the song they played instead, which was Sunshine of Your Love, to the band Cream. "We dedicate this to Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker, and Jack Bruce," Hendrix said. King Crimson. One of the bands he held in high regard was King Crimson, a group he once called the best band in the world. Hendrix attended one of their early shows and was highly impressed. Although Robert Fripp, King Crimson's guitarist, never had the chance to see Hendrix perform live, he was deeply inspired by Hendrix's music. Robert Fripp's innovative guitar work, in particular, captured Hendrix's attention. Fripp, known for his complex playing and unorthodox techniques, was a kindred spirit to Hendrix. In 1969, after a King Crimson performance at the Revolution Club in London, Hendrix met Robert Fripp backstage. Fripp later recalled how Hendrix, dressed in a white suit with his arm in a sling, came up to him and said, "Shake my left hand, man, it's closer to my heart." Both artists shaped the future of rock, leaving legacies that continue to inspire musicians to this day. Hendrix's eclectic influences contributed to his unique sound, blending rock, blues, and psychedelia, making him a pivotal figure in the evolution of modern music.